I would say that make yourself visible.
It is so different from Japanese women's education. What is the first thing to change?
Oh, there are so many things to change. I would say that make yourself visible. Be everywhere, put yourself out there. Hi, I'm here. So if someone is trying to diminish you, so that if there's a meeting, I want to be there.
It is so different from Japanese women's education. We are expected to be modest.
Okay.
That is feminine.
This is not about changing your culture ever. That is part of your culture, but not when it comes to the workforce. Why should the women be modest, but not the men?
Not only women, men also are very much more expected to be modest compared to another cultures.
Okay.
Not to appeal their own opinions, not too much about their own opinions, not challenge for the new frontier.
I think that the Japanese economy is declining because of the fact that the women are not there. Because if you think also us who have children, and all of you who hopefully will have children also in the future, we are the masters when it comes to the time management, for instance. We can juggle, go to the kindergarten with the child and play with the child, having the very, very demanding work tasks, having our hobbies, we have a nice time with the husbands and so forth. We have 1,000 balls up in the air, and we can do them just brilliantly. So this is what I mean. I got an idea. Why don't you change roles with your husbands or boyfriends tonight, and tell them that they should be doing what you're usually doing? That will change the mindset, because then they know, I cannot do this. So this is really the fact. Try this tonight.
I can imagine most of the male partners said, I want to, but I can't do.
You can send them all to me. I have done the same thing with my husband, so I will convince them to do this. Kind of maybe a Teams meeting or something.
And maybe also another reason is Japanese people are afraid of the conflict between the partner, between the calling, between another organization. So we have to encourage Japanese people to accept the conflict.
You know what? I have been teaching at the Musashino Art University for 3 years. I had there a course called Basic Skills of Critique and Presentation. And then from time to time, when I have given lectures, so many lectures about this women's empowerment, I have quite often started the lecture by asking, how many mistakes did you do today? Who did 10 mistakes today? Raise your hand. You know what? I usually start by stating the amount of mistakes that I have done during the day. Why? Because we learn by making mistakes. It's not horrible. It's not a crime. You need to do the mistakes. About the conflicts. We are all humans. We cannot be our best friends all the time. Why on earth are you afraid of having the conflicts? Because the thing is, again, that by talking honestly, openly, you will do the best of those conflicts, and they will be solved. But if you're like, I cannot, no. So you cannot flourish, you cannot grow as a person. And then at the end of the day, you might be like, I would have liked to do something like this, but So, and then you're dissatisfied with yourself. That will be spreading around your family, your friends, the community. It's not good for the life, really. You can also make the mistake and you can write them down. What kind of mistakes did I do today? And then, how did you solve them? This is also the way how to go further and really get empowered. Because the other thing is that if you're afraid of conflicts and you have been in the middle of the conflict, you have solved that. Whoa, I did it. I was out of my comfort zone. And then you get the self-confidence and here I am. You're ready for anything and everything. Also, also to go ahead with the women's empowerment.
本当とても大事なことだと思います。失敗をしないことを目指すのではなくて、失敗からいかにリカバリーするか、回復するか、それを乗り越えるかっていうことを考えなければいけないというのはとても生産的な提案だと思います。マリアさんは女性の地位を上げることを主張する政党を作ったらどうかという意見をおっしゃってました。日本の女性たちはあまり政治については参加していません。今は閣僚が2人ですし、国会議員も参議院は多いんですけど、衆議院はまだ1割そこそこ状況です。
Because the thing that you're half of the population, half of the politicians should be also female. Because how can you ever say that this is okay when there are two women there deciding for all of you women here today? That is totally unfair because they don't know how it is to be a woman. They don't know how it's to be a female student. They don't know how to be a grandmother, a mother, and a working mother, a non-working mother. They don't have any kind of clue. So this is totally unfair.
日本の閣僚だけではなし、国会議員もとても少ないんですが、その現在政治家になっている女性たちのすべてが女性の地位の向上に熱心に働くとは限らない。女性たちの中でもいろんな能力のある人、あまり能力が高くない政治家もいる。私は反省するんですけれども、男性の政治家でも能力が高い人もいれば低い人もいる。日本のためになるいい活動をしている人もいれば、選挙のことだけ考えてばらまきの政策しか言わない男性政治家もたくさんいる。でもそれは私たちは仕方がないと受け入れているのに、女性の政治家が女性のためにしっかり活動しない、あんまりちゃんとした政策の能力がないととてもがっかりして、女性が増えてもしょうがないんじゃないかと考えがちなんですが、それが私たちの女性政治家を応援しない理由と言っていてはいけないということですね。
No, don't give up. But the thing is, there are always good or bad politicians or in between. Nevertheless, if they are women or men, that's a fact, absolutely. But the amount of female politicians needs to be higher. And this is something I have to tell you that although we in Finland with my colleagues over here, so we have, the situation is fairly good for us. Fairly. It's not 100%, but it's quite near actually. Being number 2 in the gender equality index. Very nice indeed. But the thing is really that what is similar, I think that quite many female politicians in the world, nevertheless where you are, in which country, is that they get criticized in a most horrible way. If you go and change your hair, damedes. If you have a kind of white dress, damedes. So they get criticized on a very personal level. And that is something that, of course, it's not attracting so many women to the politics. However, there are those, and we need the women to be the spokespersons for us. And that's why you need to have the encouragement even more to tackle with the kind of criticism that the society unfortunately still is directing towards the women politicians. And this is what I have been doing here in Japan. I have had very short skirts and high heels, and just because I like them really. Today not high heels because Atsusuki deshita. But anyhow, so because this is me, of course I have been honoring your culture, but this is really me. Take it or leave it. And this is something that I would like everyone to think as well. Do not change your personality.
まだまだ話したいことはたくさんあるんですが、とても残念ですが、これでこのディスカッション、ダイアローグは終わります。
Can I say one more thing? Something for all of you now here. So first of all, always believe in yourself and in your strength. Remember to reach for the stars. If you don't get to the stars, you get here. But you need to have a goal. And of course, support one another. That is what we do in Finland. We women especially, we support one another. And start today.
ありがとうございました。